essentially, the term entrepreneurship has been around for a couple of decades, but I think it was popularized, way back in 1985 by an article by Steve Jobs. But very simply put, entrepreneurs are essentially people who innovate from within existing organizations. So the concept itself is referring to practicing entrepreneurship within a larger organization. And today it's more important than ever, and many companies across different sectors are catching up to this idea. Much like an entrepreneur is identified as being able to, take conversations of leadership. I think the key goal of any organization today is to continue to improve and to remain relevant in the sector that they operate, right? So today it's also very commonplace to hear tales of employed, talented young professionals whose job roles and opportunities are mismatched with their professional and personal ambitions. So before companies continue to lose out on their most valuable resources, it only makes sense for business leaders across sectors to take the pulse of their evolving workforce and really nurture a culture of real innovation and ownership within their organizations. So essentially, I feel like businesses really need to develop, recognize, and celebrate these entrepreneurs and their abilities. And what essentially does one really need to develop, recognize, and celebrate these entrepreneurs is to really shift away from that typical conservative organizational structure, to structures where you have the incentive mechanisms, where you have the communication systems, where you have resources that are allocated to really support and help, tap into the energies of these entrepreneurs. All right. And there are many companies who've successfully done this in the past. For example, Google has a 20% time policy where they allow each employee to dedicate 20% of their working hours to passion projects that really benefit the company. Similarly, 3M allows 15% of their employees' time to create new projects and seeking, seeking breakthrough innovations. Essentially, one really has to kind of focus on, allocating resources, allocating time, most importantly, and really giving these employees the right incentives to come up and really show their entrepreneurial qualities. It's only when you're more aware of yourself, your values, your purpose, it's only then that you're more willing to listen to others and consider their perspectives. It's therefore very, very important for organizations to provide their employees or to give them an opportunity for self-reflection and to really take them through an inner journey of self-discovery. There are many ways of doing this. In the fellowship, we practice it very strongly, and it's a running theme. But it is so very important within organizations as well. The second is that, another way to really help develop that empathy is to really expose leaders to different departments, to different business functions, to different teams, and really kind of give them that kind of exposure. There is a field of study called the human-centered design, which teaches some very, very valuable tools that help you understand somebody else's perspective better or really develop empathetical skills. For example, there's a tool called Perspective Hat, wearing the perspective hat, where you can wear different hats to view a situation from different viewing lenses. Similarly, you have role playing as an example that can really help build empathy. And so therefore, organizations really need, again, to keep time aside to expose leaders to these different business departments, business functions, and use these tools. The third, I feel, the third way that one can develop empathy is to really expose leaders to diverse teams and encourage them for collaborative learning. Instead of making it always about competition, I think collaboration and collaborative conversations is something that must be rewarded within organizations. It's only when you work together to achieve a common goal do you really try and understand the motivations and the barriers of your teammates. And that's what really helps develop empathy. And I think, one of the one of, at IDEX, one of our core values and what we also tell fellows very often is that you learn more about yourself and life if you don't limit where you learn from and who teaches you those lessons, right? Teachers can be anyone who knows something that you don't. And this is regardless of resources or age or influence or skills or years of experience. You can literally learn from anyone at any point, whether it is in a structured setting or an unstructured setting. But I think today's companies really need to create more room for unstructured interaction.